The biggest bank in the United States is in damage control after losing $2 billion in just 6 weeks. JP Morgan Chase blames the losses on its complex investments, and they come as US banks fight regulators over risky trading.
JP Morgan's risky and complex hedging strategy has been the talk of financial markets for weeks.
Our top story this morning is about a JP Morgan trader.
It's part of a transformation taking place inside JP Morgan.
Now the bank says that transformation cost it $2 billion in just 6 weeks.
In hindsight, the new strategy was flawed, complex, poorly reviewed, poorly executed and poorly monitored.
The humiliating admission comes as US banks try to rebuild their shattered reputations after the global financial crisis, which JP Morgan survived better than most.
We saw a lot of banks fail around the world and JP Morgan wasn't one of them. So there has been a perception that they are certainly far less risky than the other banks.
Now that perception is tarnished and the company's boss says the losses could get worse.
These were egregious mistakes. They were self-inflicted. We were accountable. This is not how we want to run a business.
The revelations are also likely to fuel debate about President Barack Obama's sweeping reforms of Wall Street. The large banks are fighting efforts by regulators to rein in risky trading. Analysts say Australian banks are low risk relative to their global peers, but they don't rule out the possibility of the same thing happening here.
We live in times where we're seeing extreme volatility in financial markets, and the Australian banks do have a lot of counterparties, so you can never say never.
The federal government is currently talking to the industry about its plans to tighten trading regulations. Simon Palin, ABC News.